Welcome to the Bandwich Tapes. I'm Brad Williams. On this episode, I'm joined by Darin and Brooke Aldridge, whose close harmonies and roots in gospel, country, and bluegrass have shaped a musical partnership spanning nearly 2 decades. Their new album, Soul Condition, brings them back to the church music they heard growing up in Western North Carolina. It is their first complete gospel project since their debut album, I'll Go With You, and it features songs that they have carried with them for years. We talk about preserving the spirit of traditional gospel while finding something fresh inside each arrangement. Darin and Brooke also share stories about working with John Cowan and Jason Crabb, learning to support another lead singer, and trusting great musicians to bring their own ideas to the studio. At the heart of the conversation is the sound that Darin and Brooke have built together, a shared musical voice grounded in faith, friendship, and the feeling of home. Here's my conversation with Darin and Brooke Aldridge.
We need spirit-filled preachers to teach us right from wrong. We need some old-fashioned seekers who will pray all night long. We need some good gospel singers. Help us go another mile, so the church will triumph. Oh, we'll go home in a little while. It'll be worth it after all, child. It'll be worth it after all. After all of these trials, we'll hear Jesus call. It'll be worth it after all, child. It'll be worth it after all. After all of this climbing, it'll be worth it after all.
Darin and Brooke, it is a pleasure and an honor to welcome you to the podcast. How are things today?
They're great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it is. I have been such a fan of yours for such a long time, and I'm just so excited to get to hang out and just, be a fanboy for a little bit and then just ask you a bunch of questions. So I'm excited to have you here.
Yeah, well, thank you. We appreciate all you do for folks like us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been listening to the new album, Soul Condition, and I love it. I love it from front to back. The music, it's very near and dear to my heart. It reminds me of music I grew up listening to, hearing my family play, singing around the piano with my cousins and aunts and uncles and everybody. And do those statements resonate with the two of y'all? Did it seem very similar to y'all growing up?
Yeah, that was
absolutely
kind of our whole idea, is to give everybody a good taste of the mountains, Western North Carolina, and how we were raised and grew up. And if you'd go back to an old church house there and in the hills, this is kind of some of the stuff that you'd hear.
Yeah, that's it. How about you, Brooke? Same kind of thing for you, growing up hearing that kind of music?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, and we've been saving a lot of these songs for a while. We've always incorporated gospel songs on all of our CDs that we've ever put out, but we felt like it had to be a special collection of things before we released an all gospel album again. And so that's where all these songs kind of fell, was in Soul Condition. And we're getting the same response as you have from a lot of fans and friends that have always loved our music. So we're happy that we decided to do another gospel album.
Yeah. What was, Darin, what was the timing of this? Did you just kind of feel like it's time that we do this? Did you have enough songs ready that you felt like this was the perfect time to go in and make this record?
Yeah, we, like Brooke said, we've been saving some for a couple years and doing some of the songs that we first started out singing together, close to 20 years ago now. And so our first record we ever did together was an all gospel project called I'll Go With You. And mainly we were doing churches and singings at that time before we branched out into more country bluegrass type of music. So we've always included several gospel songs for each project. It seems like the last two projects, we've had a lot of great success with songs like that we recorded with the Oak Ridge Boys, He's Getting Me Ready, and then Jordan that came out with Ricky Skaggs and Mo Pitney, and just had a lot of great traction. So we've got a lot of things from the industry and asking us about more gospel and doing so. And it was time. It was, 19 years ago since we put one out. So it was about time to do that.
Yeah. I think the thing that I appreciate so much on it is that it's very evident that you honor the tradition of the song, you honor the arrangement of it, but you still put your fresh and authentic take on it, which I think is it comes across very clearly in the music, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that you guys have done that.
Well,
thank you. We've always tried to be mindful of that, because it's hard to recreate. If you do a cover, it's hard to recreate that, sound that somebody else has already gotten from the song, So when Darin and I do covers, we want to bring it back and kind of add our own spin to it and add a little freshness to it. And I feel like Darin's really good at doing that in the studio and kind of hearing things a little bit different that may not sound just like the exact version of it,
Yeah. When y'all go into the studio to record an album, do you have production choices and arrangements and things kind of solidified before you go in, or do you like to leave some of that to the some of that studio magic and let some of that just come out once you get in there?
I think it's good to have a plan most of the time that we do, but also in my, experience through the years, you get together with great musicians and, you're singing it through a few times and you always want to let that evolve and see what's happening and where it might need to go. And that's like you're saying, that studio magic's, it's hard to come up with thinking of it before, man. When you get 5 great musicians together, something else might come up, and I'm always open for that. So's Brooke.
Yeah. Do you all prefer, as singers, and I'll just share personally, I've grown up playing and singing and done a lot of session stuff over the years. And as a singer, I believe in getting the take that you need, obviously, for the record. But at the same time, I like to do as much as I can and as little as possible. Do y'all prefer fewer takes? Or do you want to just keep doing it until you get the one that you want?
Well, if you ask me that question, I'll sing all day to get it exactly how I want it. But Darin, he's usually pretty quick and kind of knows what he wants for the most part. But
it can be, at least for me, I feel like I navigate into some dangerous territory, in that if I start thinking about it too much, I can kind of get in my head about what I'm looking for in a vocal track.
Yeah.
Sure. That's true.
Yeah.
It happens. And I have to be careful with that sometimes myself.
Yeah. One of the other things I really like on this album is that this wonderful cast of characters that you kind of brought in to sing with you on first track. My man Johnny C's on there. I just had John Cowan on the podcast recently, and I'll share with you what I shared with him. I saw Newgrass Revival at the Georgia Mountain Fair in 1983, maybe, and I told him that was the closest thing I'll ever get in my life of experiencing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, was getting to watch Newgrass Revival on stage, and it was like a face melting experience listening to John Cowan sing for the first time. And I'm sure y'all feel the same way. Tell me about I'd love to hear about your relationship with him and just what he brings to maybe what he brings out in the two of you as collaborators when you get to work with him?
I first saw John probably in maybe 96, something like that, 95, 96 at Merle Fest, probably live. The first time, pretty close, 95, 96. Growing up here in North Carolina, we was, close to Merle Fest, so I went a lot. And there was also another great kind of a festival in Dive called Green Acres that was close by. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I have, yeah.
So at that time, John was playing with Sam and Daryl Scott and Larry Adamanuk and Sam Bush Band. That was right when Sam put it together.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see those guys live. I was playing with a band called Acoustic Syndicate at the time, and we opened for Sam that night at Green Acres. So, me listening to all the Newgrass tapes, and that was probably way before YouTube, I think. But hearing all that stuff was amazing, just like you, and I've heard Garth Brooks talk about that before in an interview of a couple bands that really meant so much to music, and the Beatles being one of them for 4 people playing live, and Newgrass Revival being another.
Yeah.
That's how stout that is. So anyway, flashing forward, getting to know John a little bit through the years by being around Merle Fest and seeing him play. And after Brooke and I got together, we got to be at Music City Roots in Nashville and played with John that night as well. He was on the same lineup. So then we just kind of talked back and forth, and we went to see him one night up in Hickory, North Carolina. Brooke, in 2015 or 16, something like that, just to kind of, anytime he was close by, I wanted to check in and, because we were fans, and he got us up to sing that night on stage with him. And after that, he kind of mentioned, it's like, we ought to do some shows together. So we did. And then in 2016, we put several together, and then just boom, it went so well, and they started selling well. It's collaboration, and we've done a bunch of shows with John ever since. At that time, 17, 18, 19, we work about 30 shows a year with John, probably 20 some.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we became real close with him, and he's like, you've interviewed him. He's one of the best, there is, and he's a good friend. And so we've done a couple of recordings with him in the past, but we was talking about this song, You Don't Knock, and of course Newgrass did that one a whole lot, and it was this magic when we got back together. And I felt like during that time too that John helped Brooke come out so much and give her so much confidence, as he does in any kind of setting. John, it just overflows with the joy, happiness, and him bragging on you, and Brooke's such a powerful singer as well, and that give her that much more confidence all that whole time as she grew as an artist, having John beside of her.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was pretty cool to it has been since we've gotten to collaborate with him over the years and just become really good friends. Because when Darin and I were dating, he used to take me to see Cowan a lot, because I went to school at App State up in Boone, North Carolina, and Darin and I started dating my senior year. And so John would play pretty locally quite often. And so Darin took me a bunch, and I was mesmerized. Like I knew who he was, but like I didn't know who he was. I guess I had never really gotten to experience, singing and stuff like that live from somebody of his caliber, and he's so down to earth and kind. And so I don't know that he remembers us from those days, because we were younger, and we didn't try to gurm him too much, I guess you say, but it's pretty cool that we can say now that we've gotten to do a bunch with him over the years, and he has brought a lot out in me on stage as far as singing and not being scared to just belt it out,
Yeah, he I love that about both of you as singers, that you just sing like every song might be the last one you'll ever get to sing. And I think that's the way every singer should be, is that you just go for it. And I would say that listening to John work with the two of you, I think that there are things in his singing and the way he phrases and approaches it that I think you guys have brought some stuff out in him too. And it just baffles me that and as we get older, our singing changes, our voices change, and it just blows me away that guy can still sing the way he does, as time passes on. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's very good. We got to do something with him earlier in the year, but John's, I think, 72.
Yeah,
and man, still doing it up and playing and out there in Doobie Brothers land and all that. He's definitely a treasure for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other songs I really appreciate on the record is the song that you do with Jason Crabb. Of course, Jason's an amazing singer. The thing that I was so struck by is how well the two of you sing behind someone else. It's really nice you both, I think you sing duet stuff so well, but it seems very relaxed while also being elevated, what you do to the lyric when you're singing behind someone. Do you guys enjoy kind of getting to wear that hat from time to time, getting to sing 3-part with someone else singing lead?
For sure. And that was a big part of my background, singing, of course, professionally first with the Country Gentlemen. Learning to do that with one of the greatest lead singers ever was Charlie Waller.
Yeah.
So I brought a lot of that experience to the table when me and Brooke started patterning out, because I wanted to do the best I could behind her, and then me singing more lead helped Brooke sing more harmony, because she was basically the lead singer in every other configuration she'd ever been in. So that we worked on that for a good while, but as we grew, we got to be behind some great vocalists like Jimmy Fortune. At the same time we were doing a lot of those shows in 15 and 16 with Cowan, we were out with Jimmy Fortune as well, doing the same type of thing. And, we went out with Vince a few times and he'd pull us up to do some things, and at the Opry and at the Ryman. And, we just really enjoyed singing behind somebody else also. And a couple people would call on us, I guess, because we are a couple and paired. And it's like, hey, Brooke can sing high and Darin can sing high too, but he can also sing the middle part. We'll get them to do harmony for it. Mm-hmm. And we'll do, we've been on many records together, and it's kind of a, double wham, I guess you could say. So we enjoy that part of it a lot.
Yeah, that's great. I love any time I can hear the two of y'all sing with each other or someone else. It's like you sound like you've been singing together your whole life, which is, I think that's the objective we all go for. When we sing, we want to just sound like an extension of each other. And I think that's exactly what happens with the two of y'all.
Well, thank you. Thank you much.
Thank you.
We both grew up listening to a lot of the same type of material for gospel and for country, and bluegrass kind of come later for us both. But we had the roots of listening to some of the greats, like I've already mentioned, like Newgrass Revival and Vince Gill and Ricky Skaggs and Emmylou and Patty and the Isaacs. And that's what, was a foundation for Brooke and I both listening to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When y'all bring in a special guest on an album, do you like to kind of leave them and let them do their thing, and then you just might make some adjustments as needed? Or do you like to kind of have a plan for what you're looking for a vocal track?
I feel like people always ask when they come in, they want to make sure that they're doing what we want them to do, in a sense, I guess. But, we're never really strict about letting musical heroes and people like that, we're not going to tell them how to sing, basically. I've heard Darin and I both say that in the studio many times when people have asked, and it's like, you add your magic that you do on a normal basis. You don't have to do it the way we expect anything. And it's just always molded in right with our vocals. And, it's been the perfect fit, I feel like, on every collab that we've ever done.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear how it fits so well with what you guys do. But yeah, it retains its identity, to who these great artists are. And I think that's so much of the hallmark of a great artist, that they can kind of move into different situations and fit so well, but while still maintaining their identity through all of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the things I always like to ask of artists when they have an album out is, how much agonizing did you put into the track sequence of the album? Is that something you agonize over as you're getting the album ready? Like, what's going to be the right flow?
I always spend a little time doing that. I guess doing set lists for so long and listening how it comes down, something that's really kicking and gets your attention to start with, and a different key after that, what they need to be in, and tempo for an album. I still think of them just like if it's dropping the needle on the vinyl record, and it's playing one consistent thing through. You want to hear it from the beginning to the end, So I try to always do that in every album we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and sometimes it's not even that with Darin. Like, I feel like the songs that we pick sometimes, and the way that they're laid out, it almost tells a story. Like, the titles kind of tell a story that kind of leads to each track, So that's kind of cool when that happens too. It doesn't always happen that way, but I love when it does.
Yeah. I like your take on So Much to Thank Him For. And did I read in your bio, Darin, do you have a family member that was in the Melody Trio? Is that right?
Yeah, that was my aunt and uncle.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing that song when it was out, and like, it didn't matter where you went, some group was going to be singing that song. It was right. Everywhere.
It was huge, for them, and just part of course, Brooke and I, our past, she grew up listening to it and singing it in church forever because it was such a huge hit, like you're saying. And so definitely that was one of the first ones that we mentioned, in our first pile of songs, is we need to record that, and do our spin of it, and just a tribute back to them. They've both passed now.
Yeah.
And R.L. and Linda Jones, and they had Tim Hughes singing the lead on that.
Yeah.
But, man, it kind of made them, when that come out, the number one, and then everybody else started doing it after that. It's such a great song, and songs like that always live on and continue to bless and do such great things, and we're real proud of the cut that we've got of it.
Yeah, I think that's what, like you said, it's the mark of an incredible song that it could have come out 30 years ago or 30 days ago, and it's still just as relevant and still as connects with people. And that song is certainly one of them. And I love what you guys did with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really good. So looking ahead, what do you guys have on the horizon for the next few months, and kind of what project you're going to be working on for the future?
Well, we're in the process of moving right now, so we're taking a little time off to do that. But we've got festivals and concerts lined up for the rest of the year, and before we know it, it'll be Christmas season, and we've already planned in several of those. We put out a holiday record a couple of years back, so we enjoy that a whole lot, getting to do that. And we'll probably start talking about another one maybe next year. We're not thinking about it now.
Yeah, go ahead, Brooke, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, we're going to probably release a couple bluegrass singles coming up pretty soon. We've got 3 kind of in the can right now, so hopefully we'll have one of those out pretty soon to radio. But I don't know if it's songs that'll go on a future album or not, but these days you kind of put out singles and see where it goes, I guess.
Yeah. Do y'all like to play a song out for a while before you record it, or do you typically record it and then take it out to play in front of audiences?
Most of the time we'll record it first. A few of these and some older songs we have played and then recorded them later, but probably 80% we'll record it first and get it ready.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it just kind of depends on, the group, and sometimes they like to let it kind of evolve and do its thing, but sometimes it's nice to go in and just record it fresh and then take it out and then see what happens with it afterwards. So, yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure. I could just hang out with you two and just talk about all of this stuff. I mean, it's like there's so much of this that just feels like home talking to you guys. Your music just, it connects. I connect to it at such a level of it. I mean, it's like music I grew up hearing, and I love what you guys do and the way you do it. It's just amazing. I just can't thank you enough for the music.
We appreciate the great interview and you being prepared and knowing, and we felt like the same with you. We've talked to you forever.
Well, best of luck to you. And hopefully we'll get to say hello in person someday. Yeah, that'd be great.
Look forward to it.
We sure hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, best of luck, guys. And
thank you, Brad.
See you soon. All right. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this conversation, please follow or subscribe to the Bandwich Tapes wherever you listen, and consider leaving a rating or review. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.